Hello, this is Dr. Mark Miravalle, Professor of Theology and Mariology from the Franciscan University of Steubenville in Steubenville, Ohio. I am here in Ireland with Anne, the lay apostle, and we will be speaking about the spiritual movement of the lay apostles of Jesus Christ, the returning King. It is important to keep in mind that all the messages that Anne has received have been released with the permission of the local bishop, Bishop Leo O'Reilly from the Diocese of Kilmore, Ireland, and have been submitted to the Vatican Congregation for the Doctrine of Faith for examination. Each and every dimension of this apostolate is completed in submission and in obedience to the local bishop and to the magisterium of the Catholic Church. And part of our call, again, with this rescue mission for souls, our Lord's inviting each one of us into this. The common question is, well, how do I do this? There's a practical legitimacy to saying, how do I do this today? Mm-hmm. And our Lord also seems to be emphasizing the importance of calm and seeking the divine will. Let's examine this October 9th, 2004 message. And these are the words of Jesus. My dear little apostles must heed my words in all calm. I am sending you the clearest instructions so that you have a clear vision of your mission. We are pulling souls back into the safety of the Christian family. We do so with love. My dear ones, I love you. I call you into service in all love, and through your service to me, you will gain the greatest of graces for the intentions you hold dear. Do not fear that you will lose by your service to the kingdom. There is only gain possible for you. Give me each of your concerns and begin. Walk each day in the knowledge that you are fulfilling God's holy will for you and fulfilling your role in the kingdom. It is for this mission you were placed on earth at this time. Do not refuse me. Say yes to Jesus. You will be filled with my light. Step forward in faith and allow my divine understanding to come to you. Well, those are rather remarkable words in saying that this is the reason we're on earth at this time, is for this rescue mission for souls. Comment on that, if you will.
Well, I see the rescue mission, I see this apostolate as part of the rescue mission. And there's sometimes people would see this apostolate as competing with another apostolate. And it's very important that we know that we don't compete, we all work together. And I think that this apostolate comes to minister to people where they are in service. And if they're not in service, it comes to call them into service and to, So that would be the first thing I would say, that we are all called to the rescue mission. And many of us have worked for Christ for many years in all our different ways. So I would want people to think they're being pulled away from their service.
Right.
The other thing that strikes me, and this is a temptation I think we all struggle with, is he says, I call you into service in all love, and through your service to me, you will gain the greatest of graces for the intentions you hold dear. So he's saying, you're not going to lose by serving me. It's not even possible for you to lose. We have a sense sometimes that we're giving something up and going to Christ. We're not giving something up. We're shaking something off.
Right.
And moving into the service to the Lord and to the family of Christ.
Right. And those are two huge points, because most of all, this mission is in no sense competing with the church, which is the ultimate rescue mission.
Right.
This is, as our Lord said earlier, this is reclaiming the church, a renewal, a movement of renewal, always within the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church, who has always been given the task of a rescue mission, right? The redemption of souls. That we're called to be praying and offering and sacrificing and evangelizing to our brothers and sisters to bring souls back into the fold. And as you say, there is that mistaken idea that if I'm doing this, well, who's going to take care of my intentions? If I'm praying for the Lord's intentions, and that's one of the foundations of our Christian faith, that we do our Lord's work, He will exponentially take care of our intentions, our loved ones, our family members, our first responsibilities.
Yes, and all of our holy intentions come from His heart. So they are His intentions.
Right.
There's no conflict, no difficulty with that. And all of the legitimate Catholic movements are like streams that go directly to Rome. And then they are like also streams that come directly from Rome. So it's all the same service.
Right, right. In that same mode of salvation. This is the mission. So to reemphasize exactly what you're saying, he says, I call you into service in all love, and through your service to me you will gain the greatest of graces for the intentions you hold dear. As you're saying, from his heart to our heart. It's not like we invented the intentions that we should have for our families and for the people that are loved ones. It's coming from him. And then he goes on to say, give me each of your concerns and begin. Almost a sense of saying, take it from our heart, put it into his heart, be about his business, and he will, again, exponentially take care of our responsibilities.
And there's unity between the master and the servant. There's unity. There's no separation between our goals, his goals, and this. We can only benefit from this. We can only gain. He says here, I'm sending you the clearest instructions so that you have a clear vision of your mission. Now, I want to remark on that. There are many times in my service where I don't know where the mission is going. And if I sat with that, I could get hung up on that. So I just let go of that. I might not know where the mission is going or where Jesus is going, taking the mission, but I always know what he wants from me that day. Do you see? In the moment.
Right.
So I don't know what the Lord's plans are for the apostolate, but I know that I have to clean the floor. I know that I have to cook dinner. So if you can rest in the present, a lot of our stress is alleviated.
Right. And in a real sense, Anne, isn't it true that when we look too far ahead, we get anxious? Because it's like the manna in the desert of the Old Testament. I mean, our Lord said, only take the manna for today. Right. It reminds me of the little flower who talked about, her poem, just for today, Lord. Give me the grace to do your will just for today. She says in that poem, I don't want to worry about tomorrow. I don't have enough to tend for tomorrow.
That's
it's
right.
just for today. So one of the major modes of anxiety for us is when we go too far ahead and the grace isn't there yet and the wisdom isn't there yet. But today's grace is there for us. That sacrament of the present moment, that's very strong in here as well.
Yes. So if we concentrate on that, we won't become frightened.
Right.
Yeah.
He ends by talking about stepping forward in faith, allow my divine understanding to come to you. Once again, it's not our mission, it's his mission. And he's going to give us the wisdom and the insight to sustain it.
Right. And where we'll get the anxiety, the anxiousness, is when we try to impose our will on it, on the service. Because it is the Lord's plan.
Right.
So we have to bring the mission to the world. We don't bring the world to the mission.
Right. It reminds me of what Mother Teresa said. I was able to speak to her about 6 weeks before she died, and she said over the phone, Mark, pray that I do not get in the way of God's design.
Exactly.
I wanted to say, Mother, you really want me to pray as if you could ever get in the way of God's design, but there's a profound truth in that you live that way, and for our mission here too, we don't get in the way of God's design, and we take the divine understanding as the foundation of the work.
And the beauty of that is she was aware of the risk.
Yeah.
And remained aware of the risk till the end of her life, and that's why she didn't step wrong.
Right. So clear instructions, trusting in our Lord to sustain it. Thank you, Anne.
Okay.